Let's rope in Mkhuleko Hlengwa, who's the IFP national spokesperson, who joins us now to also talk about his role as the Deputy Minister of Transport, working together with Barbara Creasy. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. What is your reaction? I mean, you have been appointed a position within the cabinet.
Thank you, Ashimpo. Good evening to you and the listeners. But I think it's early days for a reaction. Suffice it to say, one does not take the responsibility thrust on his shoulders lightly, and will do all that is humanly possible, necessary and expected of us to ensure that things are turned around in the transport sector. But the IFP obviously welcomes the announcement of the National Executive. It gives certainty and gives South Africa now an opportunity to be able to move forward. We remain fundamentally committed to ensuring that the daily material conditions of our people are turned around, and it is the responsibility of this executive to actually now do that. And we obviously further understand it's not going to be easy. We are entering uncharted waters. A government of national unity of a new kind in South Africa as opposed to what we had in 1994. There's going to be a lot of need for consensus building, compromises, when ultimately with the collective view of ensuring that things are turned around, and we need to move with the necessary speed and urgency given the dire conditions, particularly on the jobs front, to ensure that the economy grows, stabilize the finances, service delivery, and function level will be a key priority. So the IFP fundamentally believes that the portfolios that to it are going to be at the center of the change agenda that is desperately needed by South Africa, particularly with President Hlabisa heading COGTA and the Deputy President of the IFP, Nkosi Mzansi, heading the Public Service and Administration.
Do you feel that the positions that have been given to the members of the IFP are sufficient, and you will be able to have your say and make an impact in the government of national unity as one of the founding members?
Well, it's important for us to go back to the basics of the statement of intent, which speaks about broad proportionality. We have to be fair to the electoral outcome and not bite more than what the electorate has given us as a mandate. The calculations that were done are largely justifiable, but also the broad concept of nation building remain of critical importance. Beyond that, of course, is that teamwork works. This must be a collective responsibility. All of us finding our feet in a new dispensation of working together. Moreover, of course, the IFP comes to the table with experience of governing, particularly also coalition governments. If you look at the fact that we govern quite a lot of municipalities on a coalition basis, we are leading the government of provincial unity in KwaZulu-Natal under the premiership of Comrade Thami Ntuli. And so we are not new to this era, and I think that the IFP, amongst others, recognizes the need of ensuring that we build bridges amongst all parties to ensure that we constantly. So it's not just a matter of the governance, but it's also a matter of finding the synergies within government in this new dimension, which we need to actually bring to the table.
As a party, you had urged the ANC and the DA to essentially put their differences aside and focus on fast-tracking the cabinet negotiations. And as you look back at the many challenges that came with this announcement this evening, do you believe that the government of national unity will be able to deliver on its mandate? I mean, the president spoke quite a bit this evening about the expectations and how high the stakes are.
Well, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi used to say that it is better to travel in hope than to arrive. So we must not be prophets of doom at this point in time. Ours is to ensure that the work is done. None of us are under the illusion that the road ahead will be easy. We fundamentally understand that bringing parties together is no easy feat. But at the same time, we've got the experience in this field, and I fundamentally believe that we will be able to move forward. And I think that it's going to take political discipline and political will on the part of all the parties to ensure that at all material times it's the national interest that comes first. And that should be the key focus. It's the South Africans who require a government that is going to work and function, and hence our clarion call this week calling for the parties whom the ANC, specifically in the DA, who seemed to have had public wrangles, to say that all our actions must inspire public hope and public confidence that we know what we are doing and that whatever it is that we are doing is in the national interest. But at the same time, we must be cognizant of the fact that these are uncharted waters. And so differences in the manner in which the government construct would have arisen were bound to arise because this had never been done before. And I think that the speed in which we have moved in is in self-providing certainty. It is now incumbent on the men and women who have been given this responsibility and the political parties in South Africa in general to get the work done. They need to actually rise above the fever of this moment and recognize that there is a country to be served, and South Africans cannot be kept waiting any longer.
Very well. Thank you so much, and congratulations, of course,
Thank you.
in order, Mkhuleko Hlengwa, who's speaking in his capacity as the IFP national spokesperson. But of course, as we just heard a couple of minutes ago, he is now the Deputy Minister of Transport. We do continue on the other end of this to bring you more news and reactions to the President having announced this evening the new National Executive of the Government of National Unity. Stay with us.